Yo, what's going on, everybody, man? We back, yo. This is like episode 23 that we're about to do right here. I will say, yo, as always, man, thanks for the love. That's first and foremost. Thanks for listening to the last episode. But, you know, 23 episodes. I don't even think I'd be in this spot right now. I think I said it every episode. I don't think I'd be this far along, but I'm here. This episode is like really dope for me because I got to reconnect with an old friend, my man Curtis Q. He's really about his hustle. Like, you know, he's really about making something for himself and doing his thing now. Don't get me wrong, homeboy is a real dude, but he's about his business and about his hustle. He ain't willing to give up or quit. He's going all in and doing what he got to do. And you know, he's made his way in a very tough market, which is the New York real estate scene. And he's been able to, you know, grind and push his way to where now he has a little bit of a name in this industry. And he's made it happen 7+ years in this thing. And you got to respect that. And not a lot of brothers out here getting to that. And he's done it. So, you know, you're going to hear a lot. He's going to talk about a lot of different stuff. He's going to talk a lot about his life. And you know, one thing I think that you're really gonna get from this is you're gonna get a lot of real talk, a lot of truth, and a lot of understanding about what he's into and what he's really trying to do. So I hope you guys enjoy it, man. I hope you guys, as always, get inspired from it. And I just want to know that the fact that you guys are showing me so much love has inspired me, man. And I just really want to tell you guys, the audience, man, I appreciate the love for real. And it's been real, man, and it's just like there's so many more things to come, and thank you for listening. So let's keep going, let's keep rolling. New Year's coming up soon, so just gotta keep this train moving, baby. All right, y'all. Enjoy the show, man. Check out my man, Curtis Q. So much to talk about, man. All right, yo. Peace. Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Brian Johnson Show. Yo, so this is like episode, what is it like? I think it's like episode 21, 22. Shoot, I think I'm at episode 23.
23, Michael Jordan.
Yeah, MJ style, man. I'm over here today. I got my man. Listen, this man right here he's got the what we call the juice. As they say, my man's always got the juice. When it's time to, like, you want somebody that can, like, get into a room, talk to the people, and energize the people, man. He's like he's like a mini Diddy at the end of the day. He just goes for what he wants. And I fucked with this dude. I've known him for a long time. You know what I mean? It's just that, you know, you see a person at one stage of their life, and then you see them grow and progress into another stage of your life. Dude's a hustler. So at the end of the day, I got my man Curtis Q. Should we call it today? How are we going to say your name today, bro?
Curtis, I mean, for people that see it, the people say Quow, Quow.
Yeah.
Wow. Curtis Q is good.
Curtis Q, Quow, however you guys want to say it, but at the end of the day, I just know him as Q. Okay? He's hustling. He's out here. He gets things done. And he's a realtor, everybody. So we're going to be discussing a little realty stuff today. We're going to be talking a little bit about the New York scene and how it is for him coming up as a young man in this business, and he's got himself here. I'm very proud to say, welcome to my show, man.
Thank you, man. Brian, thank you so much. Thank you
for
having me, man. It's an honor, man. It's an honor.
Tell the people about yourself, man. Tell the people a little something about you, man.
So, a little bit about me. Where you want to start from? Where you want to start? Start from?
Let's start with, how did you get started in the promotion scene first? How did things get started for you? Because I know, where are you originally from? You're originally from Brooklyn, right? What part of Brooklyn?
Well, people know it as Lefferts Garden now, but the real estate term, Lefferts Garden. But I'm from East Flatbush.
East Flatbush. Now, you grew up, you went to high school and everything out there and everything?
Wingate High School.
How was it growing up out there? What year, around what time was that around?
So I do the numbers by my daughter. Mm-hmm. So my daughter was born in 2004. Mm-hmm. So I want to say in 1999.
99, you started high school in 99?
Yeah, in 99.
Yeah, I graduated high school in 99. I'm old head. Don't tell nobody about that anyway. So you started out in 99. Brooklyn was a very different place,
Oh,
especially
yeah,
Flatbush.
It was really rough. It was a lot of Bloods, a lot of Crips, a lot of folks, and it was a lot of gang activity.
Yeah.
But I never got deep into it. I was the cool kid and just played basketball.
Right.
Knew
the hood niggas.
Knew the hood dudes. Right. I knew the hood dudes,
Yeah.
but just stick to the girls in basketball. That was me.
I got you. You were more about what was going on outside, but you weren't going to be outside all the time.
Right. I mean, I had to be outside for for basketball,
Yeah.
to interact, but I never really got.
Were you one of those kids that just like, yo, I got to get out of my borough. I see what's going on in Harlem. I want to go uptown. I want to go to the games.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
So you traveled a lot throughout New York and stuff like that?
Yeah, right. So I used to with basketball, I used to play on a team called Riverside.
Nice.
So Riverside was uptown.
Yeah.
So I was on the B team because the A team they had like a lot of superstars.
Right.
So
right.
the B team we traveled a lot, but it definitely opened up my eyes and I saw a lot.
Yeah.
So when I was like, wait a minute, Harlem was different. Went to Jersey, went upstate to play a couple of team games. I was like, nah, Brooklyn is not everything.
Yeah, the world changes once the world gets bigger once you get out of the hood, man, and get into a certain spots, man.
Yeah, definitely. And also too, I used to travel a lot with my mom because my mother's from Venezuela.
Okay.
So we used to go to Venezuela every year, and I seen just a different culture.
Right. How far did that like impact your need to get into an entrepreneurial scene, the ability to see different things and travel a lot? Did that like kind of play a role for you? Because you got early into the entrepreneur scene. I remember that.
At first, I always made money regardless of my situation.
Right,
so
right. The hustle was in you from the jump.
I was hustling, exactly. So if you call that entrepreneurship, hustling, right?
Yeah.
I never knew hustling. I never knew entrepreneurship was hustling
It's just the code words. You just flip the words. That's all you're doing.
So I didn't know that, but I used to. I knew I had that in me for a very long time because when I was little, I used to just sell video games.
You sold candy too? Not candy?
Not really.
Sell the video games, make a little more money.
Sold video games, sold a lot of video games.
Right.
But when I got into college, I used to sell teas.
Mm-hmm. What school did you go to?
NYIT.
How was that changeover to go from high school to college for you? Well, was it like a different world kind of situation? Or
it was a different world. Because I was on a basketball scholarship and I couldn't travel out far because I wanted to stay local for my daughter because I had my daughter at a young age.
So you became a dad young. What age did you have by any chance?
My daughter was born when I was I think 18.
18.
Yeah.
That's real. My dad had me when he was 20.
Yeah.
My mom had me when she was 18. So
my freshman year.
I can understand that.
My freshman year of college. Yeah.
That's a smack in the face. Like, whoa, Dad, hold up. I'm still learning how to just do my own shit. What the hell?
Yeah. So I got my high school sweetheart pregnant. Before I left high school.
How was that? How did that go over with your family for you?
Oh man, it was.
It was rough. It was rough. I understand that.
It was rough. It was, they wanted me to still go to college.
Of course, they're not going. Just because you got a kid doesn't mean you can't go to school. That's their theory in life.
Right.
Yeah.
But my girlfriend at the time, she didn't want me to go to college.
Ooh.
She wanted me to actually stay home and get a job. And
y'all get an apartment together.
Yeah. And I was not having that.
Because you wanted a bigger life for yourself, and now for your daughter. You didn't. I had a friend of mine who just left his gig because he didn't want his son to see him as a guy who didn't achieve his dream.
Wow.
And it took balls. I mean, that takes balls to do that. You know what I mean? It took balls for you to say, I'm not going to give up on my dream and go forward. Like, and you did that at 18. You barely even knew who you were at that time, and now all of a sudden you got a mouth to feed. That must have really instilled in you, like, oh, I got to get it by all means necessary.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, regardless if I'm going to be in high school, in college. I'm sorry. This girl. I still had to provide for my daughter.
Yeah, you still got to provide for your daughters, right?
So I had to like sell teas, I sold do-rags. I did anything by any means to sell in college to still make sure my daughter had something.
Yeah.
It was. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I wasn't giving her a lot, but it was the best that I could.
As long as you did that, a lot of brothers is out. They out. They not sticking around for their kids and nothing like that because they too young. They don't know no better. They not gonna be around the kid or not doing the right thing. and you got that. I guess that really instilled a lot of entrepreneurial spirit in you. Period, to go get the help out. You know what I mean? Do a lot. Now you started out. You said you doing sell do rags, hats, and everything else. How did you get into the club game from there?
So a lot of people, from what a lot of people don't know about me is when I was in college, I never partied at all.
Ah, okay.
I never even set foot in a club before.
That's hard to believe, knowing you from where I know you from. So
I never touched a club. Never went inside a club. I was a guy that stayed, practicing, playing basketball, and I was with my girlfriend.
Who'd you grow up playing? You said you played ball a lot. Who you look towards? Who was your guy in the NBA?
Allen Iverson, Kobe.
Ah, okay. AI was on there too.
Michael Jordan as well. But yeah. I was a big AI fan.
Did you cop those? Did you cop the AIs when you were a kid? Did you have those kicks?
Yeah, of course.
You had to think about it for a second. Like, wait.
Because it was so long ago.
Yeah, B.
It was so long ago. But I had the Reeboks with the bumblebees.
Yeah. If I had those right now, I'd be firing. I couldn't tell me shit. I'd be walking around the whole block with those. Like, yo, I got this. So, Iverson was your man. Ball had changed obviously for you because you have a daughter and everything. And you said you barely ever went out partying.
Never.
So how did that translate into you getting into that life, man?
All right, so this is how it went. So after I graduated college, right?
Yeah.
I was the coach allowed me to stay to get my MBA.
Nice.
Right? So I wasn't a books guy. I only went to college because I was on a scholarship. So
Facts.
Once I did 1 year my MBA and I sat in a room and I'm like, listen, I'm not playing ball. I gotta sit in this class.
Yeah.
Even though I'm getting my MBA, I was like, nah, fuck this, man. I gotta get out of here. So I dropped out. I dropped out. And then I got a regular job. I got a regular job. I went to banking though.
90% of us get regular jobs, yes. But your regular job is banking, okay?
Right. So I went into banking. So I was banking at this. I worked at a bank called NEFQ, National Educators Federal Credit Union. It's in Long Island.
Okay.
So I became an MSR. So
you coming from you going Brooklyn to Long Island?
That's the reason why. I'll get into that.
Okay.
So I did that for about a year. So I was opening bank accounts, learning the credit card business, took care of that, and then I just couldn't take the drive. I was coming from Brooklyn to Long Island every single day.
That drive has got to be hell on wheels, B.
I was flipping. I'm like, every single day I gotta drive here back and forth, and I just said, "F this." but before I did that, I got into. This was when MySpace was out. Remember when MySpace was out?
Yeah, top five.
Right. So, I never partied before, so I started going out.
Okay, because you got a little bread in your pocket, huh?
Right. Right. So I started going out. So I went to this. I remember this club I went to. We'll never forget, Club Home. It was on 26th and 6th Avenue. It was right by Marquee and everything.
Okay.
So started going to clubs. A couple guys I knew was like, "Hey, Kurt, you should come out to the club, come hang out."
Yeah.
So we started. Bought a bottle, and it just felt pretty cool.
What year was this around?
This was in 2000. I graduated. 2007. No, 2008. Like 2008, 2009.
Okay. And now you go. You get the club seat.
Got a club
and
seat.
now you spending money on the bottle. Who was the big artist around that time? Who was big around that time? This is about right. Nah, this is way after. This was T.I.
I remember Ron Brown, Pop Champagne.
Oh. So that was Jimmy and them around that time still. Yeah, so Jimmy and them. So Popping a Bottle Club was still a thing and standing on couches.
Oh man, I felt like a superstar.
That was you having your moment, like, yo, I've arrived. Nobody can tell me shit.
I had fun because I never did it in college.
Yeah.
So I started going to parties with some of my friends, and was drinking, telling me, "Yo, Kurt, let's buy some bottles, stand on couches." This was and then we was taking pictures.
Right.
So this is when pictures started, and then I would post my pictures on MySpace.
Nice.
So
started getting the love.
Started getting attention.
That's how it always starts, right there and there.
So I started posting my cool pictures. I was like, wait a minute, people like when I post pictures. So I was like, yo, we gotta go to another club. So then, I started buying cool clothes. Started hanging out with a couple girls. But then what I noticed then is people started gravitating to me.
Yeah. So you started to realize your gravitas, and I was like, I could pull people in. Like, yeah all right.
So anywhere I went,
it was natural though.
It was natural for you. That was gonna come.
I did it, but I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So I just was taking pictures, and then MySpace days. So then when
Shout out to everybody on his live right now.
Yeah,
This is the first podcast I've done where he's doing the live. Don't worry, y'all not getting the whole thing.
No, we gotta actually cut this off in a few minutes.
Yeah,
we gotta cut this off.
Yeah.
But so when every time I used to go to a place, I'll see like about 5. I started off small, 5 to about 8 people will show up.
Right.
MySpace.
Right.
I'm like, hey, Curtis, you posted, you said you was gonna be here. We want to come hang out with you. Want to take a picture? I said, cool, no problem.
Right.
So it became like a social gathering, and then I have a good friend of mine. His name is Jr. He lived in Brooklyn as well. And we decided we wanted to do our first party together.
Right.
And I'll never forget it. It was called Bottles and Models.
Cliche as shit, but good stuff.
Bottles and Models. Somebody just asked me, who are you interviewing with?
Oh. So I go the hand.
Show who you are.
Yeah. Yo, what's good, B? What's going on, everybody?
Yeah, I'm gonna give you guys the information.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give you guys the information about it. But so it, we was like, hey, Kurt, a lot of people started coming out wherever you was going. Why don't you let's just do a party together? I said, okay, cool. So we did a party at this spot called East Savoy.
Okay, was that in Did you make your trek to Manhattan yet? Or you were still in Brooklyn?
I was still in Brooklyn.
Okay, still in Brooklyn.
I was partying in Manhattan.
Yeah.
But I did my first party in Brooklyn.
Nice. Home front. There's nothing wrong with doing it in the home. The home people love you, man.
Hello, Cupcake to God. Hello, hola. All right. Now I just want to say hi to everybody. So then we just was like, Curtis, let's I think we can make this happen. Let's just try it.
Yeah.
We had about 170 people, 200 people come. But it was like a lot. It was love. We got a lot
for your
of
first gig.
Yeah.
That's a big deal right there. That's your first joint. Like that must have felt like you were on top of the world at that point.
It felt good. Yeah, we booked our local DJ. Well, not local, but he won't say local, but he was DJ Booth. We had this gentleman called DJ Booth there, and then it turned out great. We made over $2,000.
So you got that bug.
Yeah. After we paid expenses, we walked away with like $1,500, $2,000. I said, listen, we could do this.
Mm-hmm.
So then we went to the city.
The city's a different animal.
It is a different animal, though. It is
because people are wild here. They're wild because they have demands. When they come to the club, they expect you to let them in on a certain level. And some people will be like, I don't feel like going all the way to Manhattan for stuff. How did you start working with people to get them out here? How did that first time coming out to this area was for you?
So you had to build a demand.
Yeah.
So the way we built the demand was we made it attractive with females. So we knew everybody go where the females go.
Every time.
Doesn't
Never
matter.
fails. Sex will always sell, but as long as you got a pretty woman, guys will flock.
It never fails.
Never
It never
fails.
fails. You could have a party in Jersey. If you know there's gonna be hot girls, they're going.
Every year it's the same thing. And now from what I hear, the clubs aren't even a thing anymore. It's the bars.
Yes.
It's the bars that move now.
But what happened was it started first. Well, people don't actually know, right? Before bottle service, right? Everybody paid to get into the club.
Word. I never even realized that. Yo, I used to just pay whatever the cover was to get in. And
There was no girls free before 12. There was no guys free. Everybody paid. But what happened was the club owners got hip to game, and they started just giving incentives to people whoever bought. The club owners got hip to game, and they started trying to take control of their clubs on their own. And then with the bottle situations, there was negotiating with people with bottle situations. Like let's say, for instance, let's say you're a guy that always paid to get in, and let's say you always bought bottles to come in.
Right.
They'll get contact with you, like, hey, listen, you don't got to pay to get in. Just contact me, and then we'll skip the line.
Oof. That sounds like such a little hustle, little game. Like this is a straight game.
They peep game, but it started off with with that, but females, wherever we had the females, especially with MySpace, we took care of. If your top 10 had all the hot girls and all the girls had your flyer, on the page,
you coming in.
You're gonna win.
That's fire, bro.
Landslide. It was a landslide every time we was hitting it. Landslide. Yeah, man.
That's dope. I remember around that time I did a show I had an internet show that I was producing. You and your brother came on there.
Really?
Back in the day.
How long ago was that?
That was a minute ago. It was in my man's basement. Shout out to Evan. He had a whole studio in his basement, and y'all came out to Jersey.
Yes.
And you were like, "Yeah, we're gonna definitely do it, bro. I'm there, bro." Like, you were in your bag back then. You were in your bag, like, "Yo, what? I'm there. Who? Get my brother."
Yo, I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember
yeah,
that. It was
yeah.
in your basement.
Yeah.
No, my brother didn't have a clothing line out there.
No, your brother was chilling. He was just happy to be there. I remember that. He was like, "Yo, I'm here. Like, let's do this."
Did I bring an artist?
You might have brought an artist. I got the pictures. They're like way back in the day, yo. You should see
please,
yourself, B.
you're
like in a
that.
green polo. You look it's
that.
crazy. I gotta find them, but it's I have pictures of that shit. It's,
Yeah,
it's always the bottom because thank God I've never had my Instagram fucked up. But yeah, at the bottom end of my Instagram, it's all the way back there, bro.
No, send that to me. That's interesting. Man.
Yeah, that'll be a nice TBT for you right there.
Yeah, I'll post it up. But no, man, the transition from when I got to the city, it was a complete different animal. But we had to. But I remember our first party that we did in the city. I had a friend that knew Corey Guns. If you
Remember Corey Guns. Yep.
Right, we did his birthday party. That actually launched us into the city.
Okay. And that had to be an amazing moment that launched you into the city, really, like that. Did that dynamic of learning how to use a marketing strategy kind of give you an idea towards business?
Yes.
Okay. So how did that affect you business-wise? You start thinking about other businesses as the years. How many years did you promote exactly?
I started in 2008. I want to say strong. Not a long time. It was probably about 7. I want to say 7, 8 years.
But you learned that must have been critical for business wise.
I learned a lot. I failed a lot.
Yeah.
I lost a lot of money. I made a lot of money. I learned a lot of game planning, strategizing, monopolizing. Yeah, definitely took me to the next level where I'm at right now.
Sweet. How much of what you learned in that space of time is now?
We out. We got you. Okay. All right, cool.
So we still here.
Yeah.
And like I said, how much of that critical moment helped you, like that timing, I guess you could say, like helped develop a business strategy for you for other businesses? Like I know that time frame, those 7, 8 years that you were there, you had to develop a certain understanding of how to do business with people. How did that develop for you? How did you develop that?
Well, as far as developing, I learned that relationships and being authentic and relationships will take me further.
Yes.
Than trying to be, than to how could I put this, to do a quick flip, like a quick fix.
Yes.
As a quick service.
Yes.
So instead of trying to sell somebody something that I know that's not going to work, or just trying to, hustle them. Right? Because people could tell when they're being hustled.
Yeah, because you deal with the hustle man. The hustle man who's not really a hustle man. He's just trying to get over on your ass.
Right.
Yeah.
So I learned that very quickly in the promotion game. If you just let them know exactly, listen, this is how much it costs to get in. These are the bottles. This is what to expect.
Yes.
I'm going to take care of you X, Y, Z, and you deliver. That will transcend for future business.
Yes.
That's what I learned big time in the party world. People hold you to your word.
Yes. People want you to your word, and you have to take time to figure that out. And people own you. Like they'll be on you, I should say, not own you, but on you if you're not by your word. Because people will be like, well, I try to do business with them, but every time I do business with them, it never goes right. The guy never sticks to his plan. There's one thing about you: you stick to your plan.
Correct. And
you stayed on top. Your word is your bond. How you grow up, you thinking, you get taught that early. You get taught that very early.
That's very true.
What made you start to think about transitioning out of that lifestyle, the promoter lifestyle?
So, I did very well with the real estate where I bought my first house.
Oh, okay. So when did you start? Okay, well, so they the promoting and real estate overlapped.
Yes.
Okay. How? Okay, so you were about what 5 years into promoting, and then you decided to go into real estate.
No.
Okay.
So the way it worked was basically, I was still party promoting, and during the day I was doing real estate.
Oh, okay. How did the real estate thing come about? Because we get into promoting. I know how that came about now. But at that time you were still working. You were promoting and still working in Long Island.
No, what I did was I quit that job.
Oh, okay.
Because it was too damn far.
Obviously.
And then what was crazy is I ended up in another bank
Okay.
called Ponce de Leon Federal Savings Bank.
Oh, they got you. You're gonna be a numbers guy.
And I was in the Bronx.
Yeah.
So I did that for like about 6 months. Then I nailed a city job. I was working for the city. A lot of people don't know that. I was working for the city. So I did that for a little bit, but then I said, you know what? Let me just stick to this party promotion.
Okay.
I just figured I just knew that I wasn't a 9 to 5 guy.
Yeah.
I had too much
It's not in you.
Yeah.
It's not in you. It's not in everybody. Some people can rock with it. Some people are just not built for it.
Yeah.
So why did you choose real estate? You could have gone into cars. You could have been selling cars.
So I saved up some money from the party world, and I bought a house.
Okay.
And I liked the way that the agent
Broke it down to you?
broke it. Not the way I want to say he sold it, but the way he serviced me.
Okay.
He was a clean cut guy. Drove a nice car. Very detailed. And he was very very friendly.
All right.
But he was actually selling me a house. I didn't even know.
Yeah.
So
He was smooth with it.
He was super smooth with it. Super smooth.
You can be the salesman. The
Super
niggas
smooth.
get you, boy. They can get you.
And I chose the third house.
Ah, wow.
So the third house, I chose, and then we was at the closing table, and I happened to glance at his check, and I think he walked away with like $25,000.
Smiling at you, like, thanks for the money.
But he
Have a good
said,
day.
you like your house, though, right? And I was like, I said, hey, listen, you just showed me 3 houses and you made $25,000. And he said, hey, listen, man, it's not how I sold you. It's just I gave you what you wanted, and you like what you wanted, and at the end of the day, this is my career.
Right.
I said, no, I don't want to sell bottles no more. I want to sell houses. So what I did was I kept on doing party promotion.
Right.
But I started doing real estate.
Was taking the license, getting your license a difficult thing for you? Because you get in your house, you got your party room going on. At the time, you're with someone. Am I correct? You're with your wife, or you're not?
No. I was actually. Let me see. I think I was single.
You were single, but you still had your daughter.
Yes,
to take care
still had my daughter. Yeah, but she was living with her mother at that time.
How was that decision to do that? And you got all this going. You've already established your point here. It wasn't hard for you to make that decision, obviously, but then go take the test and then working on it. Was there any difficulty? Did you have some apprehension? Were you afraid? How was it?
Of course. I failed it 4 times.
Okay, then. That's what I'm saying. That persistency. There it goes again. That's that salesman persistency, man.
So listen, like I told everybody before, I wasn't really a test taker and I wasn't a class guy. So this was something I had to listen, you have to get your license. You have to do 25-hour courses. And 24-hour course. You got to do 25-hour courses. And you have to take the state exam. So I failed it 4 times, man.
But you didn't give up then.
No.
That's the scene that got you here.
I didn't give up. I failed it 4 times, but I said, you know what? I need this license to get where I need to be.
Yeah.
And on the 5th try, I passed.
Did you cry?
I know. I was happy.
Ain't nothing wrong with crying if you did, man. 4 times is a lot, man. By the 5th time you pass, you gotta be somewhat elated.
I was excited. Though.
Yeah,
I was very, very excited.
How did your family feel about all of this going on? Because you're doing the promoting thing, you're taking care of your daughter, you're going to get your first house, and now all of a sudden you're going to become a realtor. Was there a lot of questions about it? Did anybody question it?
No.
They supported you on it.
They knew who I was. They know what type of person I am. I'm very ambitious. I always, when I set my goals, I get it.
Right.
And then they say I'm a people's person. They had no comment. They had how could I say it?
No pushback.
No pushback on
That's
it.
sweet, man.
Mm-mm. My mother always tell me, Kurt, you always get whatever you want. You just do what you gotta do.
So you jump into the real estate game. How was it for a young man like yourself, young African American man, period, to jump into this business? And did you start in Brooklyn or did you come right to Manhattan?
I went straight to Manhattan.
How was that?
It's it's very, very challenging.
Right.
Because, I mean, can we talk about this?
You can talk about whatever you need to talk about.
You're already marked you already have a mark on you.
Right.
You know,
Right.
you know, you're African American,
Mm-hmm.
and you're playing in a predominant white game.
Yes.
So you're already coming in with an X, and also you're a male.
Yeah.
So you have two X's on you.
From the jump.
So I said, you know what? I could do this because at the end of the day, people's not going to respect you. I mean, people aren't going to do business with you not because of your color, but they're going to do business with you because of who you are.
As long as you make the money, baby, you got to be ghost
Right.
sometimes.
Right.
You got to be ghost.
You got
Can't be. Well, not you. Got to be St. Patrick. It can't be ghost all the time. You got to be St. Patrick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So people, what I learned, also what I noticed too, I did a lot of research. There's a lot of foreign buyers.
Yes.
So a lot of foreign buyers I don't want to say don't like Americans, but they rather give their dollars to,
Yeah.
African Americans.
Speak on it.
Or, instead of giving it to the white person, they're like, you know what? If I could do a deal with a young African American that knows what he's talking about, I'll work with him.
Right.
So I use that to my advantage.
Smart move. That's important that you talk about those kind of things because I think a lot of brothers and sisters, they don't get their story told when they're in this business, in this level of real estate. And I think, you get people who are in small pockets and they got command of their entire area, like in Atlanta or something like that. Mm-hmm. But Manhattan, you don't meet a lot of brothers who are doing real estate in Manhattan.
Yeah, it's
a little different because you go to Atlanta, it's everywhere. You know what I'm saying? But here, this is a different time of beast. This is the biggest market in the world, pretty much, and it's the toughest market in the world. And you've bit by bit chiseled you put your name and stamped your name over here. That's an amazing accomplishment because not a lot of brothers would have sustained as long as you have at this point. They would have just dropped off.
I mean, I always tell people, man, at the end of the day, you got to be who you are, and you got to stay consistent.
Yeah.
Because I started in Harlem. Mm-hmm. I was working at Douglas Elliman first, where it was kind of it's condos and co-ops was in development.
Right.
So I was in the Harlem office on 114th and Frederick Douglass, and there was more. It was African Americans there. Mm-hmm. So they kind of gravitated to me. They helped me. I built relationships with them.
Right.
And they helped me sell their houses to.
Sweet. That must have been an interesting thing for you to be in a business where it's not about like pushing the latest whatever. It's more about trying to establish a full-on relationship with the person you're trying to sell something to, instead of just trying to get them for that night to come through and then come through another night.
Correct.
Did you have to rethink your strategy in a way, kind of like how you approach people, how you approach things?
Yes, because like you said, you're not selling them just a bottle or selling them a service that one night at a club. Mm-hmm. A lot of people will look at it like, you sell them an item, hi, goodbye, on your way. Mm-hmm. But what I noticed with real estate, it's a long-term relationship. Mm-hmm. So you get to know the person.
Yeah.
You get to know their family. Mm-hmm. You get to know, their likes, their dislikes, what they like in certain neighborhoods, certain places, what they like to do. Mm-hmm. So once you build that rapport with them, and they also know you're knowledgeable.
Facts.
Once
Facts. You break that barrier up. I know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
So you can't just sell them. You got to know what you're talking about. And then once people feel comfortable about it, and you could deliver with knowledge.
Yeah.
That's when you could sustain a strong relationship and not just say, hey, look at this house. Trust me, take it. You'll like it. You give them back. You give them back information on why and where the market is going, and the value from it.
You want the value. You want to be able to get that knowledge, and it's just that you now you're in that space. You're pushing yourself there. Now, a couple of years in, was there ever a time when you were just like, yo, I might have to give this up, man. I don't know how I'm going to sustain this. Did you ever have any dark days? At that
of course.
Yeah.
Because
I saw the good parts because obviously, you see each other on social media and stuff like that. But there's always ups and there's always downs, ebb and flows and stuff like that.
Listen, in this business, everything can't be everything can't be peachy. Everything can't be looking great. In the beginning, I did. Well, lucky for me, in the beginning, I did very well my first year because condos was exploding in Harlem, and I was working on a good team. But my second year, when I thought, I could just live off of that. That's when I reality checked in, like, hey, Curtis, this is not a 9 to 5. You still got to keep hustling. And then my second year, I kind of dropped.
Fell back.
Because prices went up on condos and co-ops, and a lot of people didn't want to sell.
They want to just hold on to whatever they had.
They wanted to hold. They wanted to hold on.
Right. So what year was this around? This was around what year?
This is when the market. Remember,
the market took a sponge. I know. I lost my job, so I understand. It was like around 08.
No.
06, 07? No, it was 08.
No, 2010, 2012 market was picking up.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
But a lot of people didn't want to sell anymore. It was priced out.
People was holding.
So then what I learned from that was you can't just focus on just selling. You got to focus on renting as well. It's a bread and butter.
The renting thing is man. I heard that before. Renting is like a super important thing, especially in New York. It's like crazy important.
Yeah, because with sales, it takes a long time. Because remember, you're building a relationship. You're not gonna meet somebody. I meet Brian today, and then Brian's gonna buy something next week.
That's true.
Yeah,
it's true.
I build a relationship with you. You tell me you're interested in buying, so I say, hey, listen, let's just talk about it. Let's let's see where your head is at. Let me show you some stuff. I'm already focusing on you in probably 2019.
Wow.
So I put you in a folder.
Yeah. You're learning the long game. You're playing the long game. Yeah, you gotta put together a book for this. This is dope. That's good. That's good knowledge.
So what I learned is, when you build relationships, you gotta see where you're gonna see people as, because some people will pull the trigger now, but then once I noticed that, I said, wait a minute, if this person is not buying until 2019 or next year, I need money now. Right. So I got into luxury I got into luxury apartments. So I started finding people that want to rent apartments now when their lease is up November. Right. The lease is up in December.
So that's dope, bro. That's like that's good movement right there. That's like learning a whole nother game.
Whole game.
Did you at any point? So you're moving forward now. I know you got married.
Yeah.
Within that time frame, how did you meet your lady, and how did that affect your business, affect your life at that point? Because was during the second year of you being a realtor, or was like?
No, well, I got married. Well, my wife, we known each other for about 14 years.
Oh, so it's one of those things you knew each other. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was one of those things. I met her in the club. We really didn't connect, and then years later, I met up with her back.
No. We known each other for about 14 years since my freshman year of college.
Okay. So you knew her for a minute. And things just kind of clicked up. Okay, when you got in the real estate game, you were a single guy. You were still living your life?
Yes.
Okay.
Single.
So then you got with her, and things kind of worked out. How was it?
It was off and on.
Off and on. Well, that's life, bro. Everybody's off and on. I'm just saying, either way, you start hanging out. So it's like you begin to get into full on manhood at that point. Like, yes. Yeah, I'm a grown man now, and stuff like that. And I'm guessing your daughter's is growing by the day.
Yeah, 14 years old.
Still crazy.
Gonna be 15 in January.
That's still nuts to me. Look at his face. If you guys could see his face just now, he was just like, I don't even know what to say right now.
She's a sophomore in high school. Man.
Oh, God. Oh, anyway. All right, pull the trigger now. Anyway, so how was it now that you got a house and everything, the real estate, you made it through your second year and you're moving forward now? What kind of things are you beginning to think about as you're progressing? What kind of, did you move companies? Did you leave companies?
Yes. So, my first 3 years, I was at Douglas Elliman, and then now these past 3 years, after the third year, I went to the Corcoran Group.
Corcoran Group. How competitive is the scene at that time for you? Are you competing with other realtors for space like this point, or are you just because you moving into a new building, a new place, a new place you're working? You're a new guy on the block. Did you feel welcome right away, or was it like, yo, these dudes are definitely on their game over here?
Well, I had a special opportunity. Okay. So when I was doing a deal in Harlem, I met a young man. I mean, an older man. His name is Kevin McNeil. Yeah. He's African American. He's been in the business for 25 years.
Okay.
So he saw how well I I articulated myself, how well I dressed, how I did a lot of deals in Harlem.
Nice.
And he said, I would like for you to work with me.
Sweet.
So it was one black man helping another black man.
That's how we should be.
Yeah.
No crab in a barrel life.
So he's been running his business by himself. And he saw something in me that he didn't see it in a lot of people, I guess. And I was actually one of his first team members.
Because you got ambition, bro. Ambitions of a rider. You got ambitions, man. Not a lot of people got ambition, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah. A lot of people don't have ambition, or because he probably saw that in you, because that's what I saw. You know what I mean? Yeah, you're ambitious, but you're quick to the point. You're not a bullshitter, and you know what I mean. And I respect that. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
So I'm guessing that's what he probably saw in you at that moment.
Yeah, I mean, because we made a deal together. So,
Yeah.
because I was on one side of the deal, he was on another side of the deal. So once the deal closed, and he said, "Hey, listen, I like the way you work the deal from your client's end. You help my client work the deal. Let's sit down and have dinner and let's talk about it."
So, how was it for you? You coming over here, you're working with a new dude and everything else. Did you ever like get homesick from where you've been to?
Of course, yeah. I built a lot of relationships at Douglas Elliman. It's funny. I met one of my friends introduced me to one of the brokers at Douglas Elliman that got me into Douglas Elliman, because it's hard to get in.
Right. Oh yeah, I would think so. That place is very well known.
Yeah. So what happened? Long story short was, he kind of introduced me to her. She showed me the game a little bit. I learned it myself, and then after, obviously she was making money off of me because we was, she was my broker.
Yeah.
But it hurt because she actually taught me the game.
Right.
When I started a little bit.
It's always different when you leave the people who got you in the business. And it's a different thing when you leave the people, because when you leave the people who got you in, it's kind of like you're separating yourself. It's like leaving home and going away and dorming.
Correct.
You're basically like, yo, I got so much farther, but I got a really good opportunity here. And if they fuck with you or they got love for you, they're gonna bless you down on that move.
Correct.
You know what I mean? If they really rock with you. So you come into a new level, a new place, a new kind of opportunities, basically. Did you get a whole new area of work, like a new area where you kind of like, all right, let me just see what's going on here. I get new real estate here.
Yeah.
Did you ever take a venture to Brooklyn again?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So
because the gentrification started around that time when you changed.
Correct. So a lot of gentrification started happening in Brooklyn. What I noticed was the team that me and Kevin built together, he had an established business called the relocation department.
Okay.
So with the relocation department was basically, we relocated Fortune 500 companies' employees to New York City.
That's a solid business.
Super solid, man.
Yeah.
So it was a different animal, and it was a different business that I never tapped into before.
Okay.
But I didn't think it was that lucrative until I really saw how much deals we was making.
Yeah. It was moving like.
Oh yeah, and these was rentals, but these was high end rentals. So let's say I'll do a condo. Let's say I'll close the deal with a condo. That'll take me about a month or two.
Right.
I'm doing rentals, like I'm doing about 6-7 transactions a month, and these are like 1 bedrooms, $4,000.
So you got me over here like, damn, I missed out on my opportunity. I should have been a damn realtor.
and the commission checks is 15% of the annual rent. So you're looking at about, each check is about $7,000, $8,000.
So life is good at this point.
I mean, it's good, but but you still gotta pay taxes.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. But still, it's better than some people. Some people only see maybe $1,000 in maybe 3 weeks of work.
Correct.
So you're doing really good at this point.
Yes.
In a way. How did that time frame work for you? At that point, you had transitioned completely out of the club scene.
Yes, I did. It was hard for me.
It was hard. Did you feel like you were addicted to it a little
bit?
Yes.
See, I answered that quick. Yes, man. Listen, I was in college, right? I stayed to myself.
Yeah.
I was kind of a quiet guy.
Right. You were living your life.
I was living my life.
Yeah.
But then it's like, you just going to the club now. You're partying with artists. You get paid. You get free bottles.
Yeah.
You deal with
That nightlife.
Nightlife.
That nightlife. New York nightlife eat you alive. You're not prepared, man.
You're drinking and smoking, having a good time. It was. Oh, I loved it, man. I loved it. I'll be the first one to tell you, man. I loved it, man. It was fun.
When did the weaning yourself off that life begin for you? Was it when you got here to Corcoran, or was it when you were still at I can't think of the name.
No, Douglas Sutherland.
Douglas Sutherland, yes.
I think when I got to Corcoran, man, I said Curtis, you have to get to a point where I don't want to say rebranding, but you gotta. You can't do both. It's either you're gonna focus on real estate, or you're gonna focus on promoting. And what happened was, promoting was changing. It was going into the strip clubs. So I didn't want to go to
what strip club was popping? What's the one in the Bronx that used to be in the Bronx? Sin City. Oh God,
Yeah.
that was Sue's.
Yeah.
That was Riviera. They got out there at Queens, but Sue's, man. You need to take that call.
No.
Okay.
Let me just hold on a second. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You can take it if you need to. We can pause.
Pause, please.
Yeah. All right. Sorry about that. I'm gonna take a little second break.
Sorry, guys.
No problem. Now, where were we at right now?
With the clubs, right?
You were having about the clubs, and we were talking about. If I'm not mistaken, we were definitely talking about you weaning off the clubs.
Yes.
And the addiction to that nightlife that is a real thing. Because I know people who have addiction to the nightlife that have 9 to 5s, but there's an after work party addiction. It's like two different animals. Yeah. It's like the after work party is a whole nother animal of people. It's ridiculous. Yeah. It's crazy.
I think what it was for me was the addiction was I had a lot of fun. I think it was servicing the people, giving them a nice, fun environment.
Right.
And it was just, and I think what I got caught up with was the image. I'm being so honest with you.
That's real. You hear that right there, people? Not a lot of people want to admit to that, man. That's you coming down off your ego right there. That's real shit, man.
A lot of guys won't say that,
Yeah.
and it takes a lot, because
it definitely does.
It's an image. Promoters, they feel like they're the man. Artists come to them to come in and get in free. You have the hottest events, but when it's time for you to revamp yourself and for you to take yourself to another level, a lot of people can't let go of that.
You got to humble yourself down. Like you are now the Padawan. You got to listen to everybody else talk. You got to shut up and listen.
And not only that, you just got to be that person where, you know what, I'm not the man anymore.
Talk about it, bro. That is one of the hardest things in life to do, I think, for a man, is to realize like he's no longer on the top of that food chain.
And I think what happened with me was I had a hard time letting that go because I still wanted to be like that guy. People come to for the best New Year's Eve party, best Halloween party, best. But you just gotta be like, listen, I'm not the man for that anymore.
Right.
I want to do something else.
But if you want to go buy, a nice house over on Bleecker Street, you let me know. A nice apartment on Bleecker Street, I can holler at me then.
Yes. So a lot of people, I think a lot of people have a hard time letting go of what they used to do to elevate themselves to get to the next level. And I think people stay hung on being the man in a certain environment instead of expanding their business or their career.
When you get to that level and you come down off that level and now you're just like, yo, I gotta do my thing on another scale. I gotta make moves. You take all that information that you got from that club scene,
right, and
you translate it into this. What kind of advice would you give to a young promoter now in this business and who's looking to translate out of it?
Say that question again?
I said, what would you give advice to someone who's been in the promotion game but now is trying to transition out of it? Like, it could be car sales. They could be getting into any kind of business because most promoters are going to go into a sales business because that's just their natural, that's their natural progression. Mm-hmm. What kind of advice would you give to somebody who wants to wean themselves out of that scene?
I would say, that's a good question. Mm-hmm. I would tell them to do something that you love as far as, sales is sales.
Yeah.
But find some type of sales that you love to do.
You got to write a book, man. This is going to be good.
And attack it.
Yeah.
And don't listen to everybody.
Yeah, don't listen to everybody. T.I. had a line he said, don't listen to everybody's advice if it doesn't affect them the way it affects you. And it's basically saying, if I can take your advice. That's cool. But if it only affects me, and it's only if I take your advice and it only affects me, but you've never been through it and it doesn't affect you, how can I trust that you know what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? It's kind of a different. It's like what you're saying. You can't take everybody's advice. You gotta be careful whose advice you take.
You have to. I learned that the hard way.
Yeah, I figured as much. Many of us do. I learned the hard way too, my brother. It's never easy. It's never easy.
Yeah, I definitely learned. I always listen to other people's advice, but then I don't realize where I'm getting that advice from.
Mm-hmm. You're starting to look at the big picture. Like, my guy, so you're giving me this advice. What have you done to give me this advice? You know what I'm saying? When did it? If for you now, you're coming into the situation. Did you have that moment at any time in your life where you know what? This is it for me. This is all I'm gonna do from now on. I'm gonna build this empire, brick by brick, mortar by mortar.
Yeah. When I got to Corcoran, and I sat down with my team member, and he said, "Hey, Curtis, look, I really want you to flourish with this business because I see what you could do." I think it was like my second year. When I did a sale under the Corcoran Group, that's when I said, you know what, I want to do this full time.
Nice.
I'm just gonna let go of the party stuff.
Got you.
But knowing who I am, because you said I got the juice, my passion was still social gatherings.
Okay.
Right? Like I that's my passion. I like to put people in environments where they sitting down, conversating, networking, having a good time.
When I looked at that, did it ever? I didn't understand. You got to the real estate. That's a natural progression. I can understand why you would do that. Did you ever have the inkling to go full blown event planner? It's full blown event planner promoter like MCM.
I always wanted to be like this top promoter doing these big time events.
Kenny Burns level.
I heard of him.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Kenny Burns was like he's one of the biggest promoters I ever saw.
Wow, really?
Yeah. If you ever follow him on Instagram, he's got a liquor company. He's with Puff and all them. He's the original of a lot of things. But I only reference him because to me he's
right.
He's the pinnacle of what you can get to, and he's surpassed. But in terms, did you ever want to start the event company and go full blown?
Good question. Not be like a top event planner. I always wanted to own my own club, own my own lounge.
Okay.
Because I looked at it like, if as a promoter or as an event planner, you make so much money, you're giving a lot of these owners. Imagine if let's say for instance you do a party, and let's say the bar does, let's say, I don't know, 50,000, 60,000, and you get 25% of that. What you think that owner gets 75% of? And you're just one day out of the month. So I look at it like, wait a minute, if this guy if this guy made 75% off of my bar sales, I mean, and he has a hot club. I mean, you just do the math. So I always looked at like, I want to own my own club.
You can
my own lounge.
You can definitely do that down the road with some investors.
That's one of my goals.
Yeah, I can see you doing that, like owning a club, still having your own realty company, and you're owning the club, and just living life from that. I think that would work out for you, probably, brother. If that was where you would go with that, that'd be a dope move.
Yeah, even though a cool little start off with a small little lounge.
Yeah, it don't got to be something super exclusive. It could just be something like fire that's just like there. Did you? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna ask you. That feeling of owning something, was that instilled through your family?
Yes.
Okay.
So my grandmother, when we lived in Brooklyn, she owned a house.
Okay. Yeah, because you're very early owning a crib. Most people don't own cribs until they're like in their mid-30s most times.
Yeah, my grandmother owned the house, so that was instilled in us. And I mean, we did rent here there when we was living with my father, but we always came back to my grandmother's house.
Okay, I got you.
So grandma always had, because she owned it
right
back then. So, and I always told myself that if I'm ever going to rent, or if I'm ever going to move, I'm going to buy. And I'm gonna live in it. But I mean, I did live in the city. I did rent for a little while in the city, just for the
for the love.
I needed it.
Everybody needs to live in the city at least once. Like it's shit. I never did it, but I was like, I always admired people who had the balls to go and do it. My homegirl could have got a nice apartment in out here in Jersey, but she got apartment. She got like a small apartment. It couldn't be much bigger than probably where we're at right now. And she got it was uptown. It was in Harlem, and she wanted to live that city life because she worked in New York at the time. She worked for Nielsen, and she loved it.
I loved it, bro.
It was crazy. I was like, I'm looking at it like the smallest apartment.
Where did she live?
She lived up in Harlem, right near. Oh, fuck, I can't remember the name exactly.
Was it on the west side or east side?
Definitely on the west side.
Yeah.
Yeah. She loved it. She would be at this festival. And then I finally spent some significant time out there going to different places and stuff and going to other places. And I've realized the energy. It's not about where you live. It's the energy that you're surrounded by in New York. It's crazy. And that's why I was like, now I get why. I always said to myself, if I really hit it, I'd probably spend a year in the city. Just living here. And I'm like, why would I do that? I live right in Jersey. I could jump right across. I'm there. But it's different when you're coming from Jersey and you're just here for a little while and then you go back across.
I can see you like in a meatpacking Midtown.
Yeah, I would definitely do it like a nice loft. I've always wanted to do it. You know, I watch $1 Million Listing.
Yeah.
And these guys, the places I'd be staring at, like me and my girlfriend just be staring like, yo, we got to get this bread up.
No, try it, man. No, go for it, man.
Yeah, I think definitely would be something I would think about doing down the road. But knowing her, she wants the big house now. So, it's the girl. They want the house. They want the big crib. They want a big lawn. I know she wants a lawn. She's from Paramus, New Jersey. You know, so she's been surrounded by green grass her whole life.
Oh, like,
okay. Yeah. So she's like,
can you see yourself in a condo or
maybe down the road? Down the road, maybe we get something like that. Something like to get away from. But I always thought, I always admired guys who did that, girls who did that, because it was like it takes balls because the city will eat you up, it'll chew you up and spit you out fast, real fast. And I've seen people come here in like a year or two, they come back home looking crazy because all they did was go out and drink all night, and they lived that after work party life, or they would live that late night party life, and it would just chew them up. They couldn't survive it. So you did though.
Yeah,
you came through it. You came through it all right, man.
I was living in the Lower East Side, and I had fun, man. My office was literally like, because my office is on 10th and Broadway, so I could walk to my office.
Right.
It was fun, man. I loved it. But then I got engaged. No, which was a great thing.
Yeah,
this is a great, phenomenal thing. It's just, we couldn't live in the Lower East Side anymore, so we relocated back to Brooklyn.
Doesn't matter. Brooklyn's taking off. So either way, you're gonna be all right. When you got engaged and everything, how did she already understood your lifestyle at that point? Because when you're a realtor, it's different. Your hours are just different from everybody else's. You might leave to go out to a meeting at like 9:00 at night to close on something.
It depends on the deal. If it's a rental, I'm not. I mean, the latest I'll sign a lease is probably like 7, 8 o'clock at night. I mean, if it's a client I want to see a condo now for like $1.8-2 million, I'll go show it anytime you want to. I'm gonna show it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. She understood because remember, she known me for a very long time.
Yeah.
And she was around me when I was partying. I was
Okay.
a party promoter. So, going to the club at 12, coming home at 5 o'clock in the morning. Mm-hmm. So she knew my lifestyle.
That's good, man. Not a lot of people can say that. Some girls, they be like, what? What do you mean you're leaving?
You got to have somebody that understands your lifestyle.
It's important to have somebody who's got being married and, your daughter is grown. So she's in high school now.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like the old man in the room?
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny. Well, not a little bit. It depends on the.
Because real estate got a lot of older. Like I think there's a lot more older dudes than you that are in this game.
Yeah.
And especially in this, I would say they don't leave their spots no time soon.
No. There's a lot of old. I mean, not old heads, but there's a lot of people that just stay in their niche, in their location.
OGs.
But, OGs. Mm-hmm. But I don't feel. I feel old in certain sense. Like my daughter, she plays basketball, so in that sense, I feel young.
Okay.
But in certain other sentences, maybe like I think I took her to a J. Cole concert. I feel old as hell. That's why I felt old. I felt old at a J. Cole concert.
Oh, that's wild. And J. Cole's like around your age.
Yeah,
that's wild.
Meaning, no, I'm talking about like the new artists that he had. Like, he had like this guy. I forgot his name. He had Jaden Smith.
Oh yeah.
She knew all his songs I didn't know. And then there's other groups. This Roots group. Some Earth group. Something I didn't know who they
staring
were.
Like, what is this?
Yeah, that's when I knew. I was like, damn, I'm old.
Yeah, I had that feeling. I've definitely felt that way a few times. I've just been like, yo, I don't want to start dancing on one leg and pumping my fist. I can't do it.
No.
I don't. That's not me. Whatever happened to just people were dancing together,
Relaxing,
having a dance,
two-stepping.
two-stepping. Like I can do that. My mom's like, you just don't get the kids. I'm like, I don't get the kids sometimes. No, I don't get them. My nieces and my nephews, like I go to his house, and my nephew's all day. He's playing Fortnite. And if he's not playing Fortnite, he's watching some YouTuber.
I heard of Fortnite, yeah.
And I'm just staring like, I don't play video games. I don't know anything about this stuff. But hey, whatever. It's just, these kids are different. And I know being that you've been a dad for a long time, and then you transition, you rediscovered yourself a couple of times at this point. Mm-hmm. It must have been like, it's been a hell of a ride. What are the plans now going forward?
So my next goal is to get my broker's license. Because I've been in the business for about 5-6 years now, but I got very comfortable with my team member. But I do want to get my own brokerage license, and I want to develop my full team. But I will do it under. I'm thinking about branching off and opening my own brokerage firm, or maybe be an associate broker at Corcoran. I'm still thinking
working
of,
that.
Yeah, either if I'm gonna branch off and do my own thing. I mean, still do my own thing, but I might do it under the umbrella of Corcoran.
It's nice to have that little bit of a safety net. It does.
I mean, I like it because of the brand that I have behind me. Because listen, when you're competing with a lot of brokers for like a $5 million house, and a lot of people don't know that when a seller is looking to sell their house or their condo or co-op, they interview at least 4 or 5, 8 different agents.
Right.
4 to 5 different brokers.
It's competitive. It seems very relaxed, but it's highly competitive.
No, I mean, there's over 30,000 agents in New York City.
Wow.
So even like Ryan Serhant, he still works for NetSeeker. You know what I'm saying? It's not like it's not like the Ryan Serhant's brokerage firm.
Right.
He's still under NetSeekers. You know, Frederick Douglass. I mean, no, not Frederick. Douglas. I mean, what's it? Eklund.
I know you talk about Frederick from the show.
Frederick. Right?
Yes, Frederick. Yeah.
Frederick doesn't have his own brokerage firm. He works at Douglas Elliman. Yeah. So a lot of these top brokers, that's a lot of things. That's one thing I want a lot of people to understand. Even though you're a superstar broker, they're still working with another. They're still tied to a big company, right? Because sometimes you need that. You need that machine behind you or that branding behind you to just to back you up in certain deals.
Like when we talked about it off air and everything about you developing your brand. Yes. Agent Q is a real thing. It's a real brand that you can build off of. And I thought that, we talked about it. We'll keep that. That's privileged information at this point for you guys. But it's something that, I think that in this media world is a must. Because I see the big players like Ryan. He's started a YouTube channel. He's got a YouTuber who had like almost 500,000 people following him. Help him develop his brand. Really? And you have to, I think in this day and age, building towards that new stage with the ability of photography being readily accessible, and you have Instagram, Facebook, you have YouTube. These things are like tremendously, whereas you would have to pay for all this other branding. This is where the new branding is because this is where the people are going to be looking for people.
No,
because back in the day you would use MySpace. Now you got this.
It's funny that you said that because a lot of people came to me about that and said, "Hey, Curtis, you have the look, like you said. You have the ambition, you have the personality.
Which is the biggest key.
Is do a YouTube channel.
Yeah, it takes time to do it to get it to where you want it to be. But if you can bring those people to it, you'll get it. Is coming, but that's another answer. We'll talk about that off air. Thank you. When it comes down to your best advice for real estate agents, young real estate agents, what's the market now? Before I even go and get into any more advice, how's the market? What's the market looking like right now? What are we looking at out here in Manhattan right now?
So, if people are, if you're actively looking, or if you kind of know about the market, I mean, people know that. Prices were going up. The past 3 years, prices was going up. Yeah, right? A lot of people were seeing that. If you was actively looking, if you was aware of the real estate business, you noticed there was a lot of new development going up, right? Right.
And notice it. It's everywhere.
You notice anywhere you turn,
Yeah.
you see a blue sign that says either commercial, retail, or residential, right? You
Right.
see that board. You see a board up.
Yeah.
Like that green board. You see a green board up and it says commercial. Everybody always read that blue little label, right? So what's happening now is that there's too much development going on.
So they oversaturated the market at this point.
Oversaturated the market. So right now we're looking at a bit of a slow decline on inventory.
They spoke about that on that show we spoke about before, the $1 million listing. They said it was like they had stuff sitting for 3 or 4 months at a time. And that's rough, man. That's not easy.
Yeah, and it's funny that we on the air now. I just got fired today.
Get the hell out of here. You seriously?
From a seller. Yeah.
What?
So I've been working with a seller for about, I want to say, where are we in October?
Yeah.
I was working with a seller since May.
Wow.
He has a 1-bedroom condo on East 81st Street in Madison. And we listed it for I think we started off at 1.150.
Wow.
Right? Beautiful condo, and we haven't sold it yet. We dropped the price 4 times already. We actually dropped as of yesterday. We had it at $990. So for 1.150, we dropped it to 1.125. Then we dropped it to 1.100. Then we dropped it to 1.05. No, 1.050. And then we dropped it to 950.
That's a hell of a drop.
And this was from May to now. And he said, Kurt, thank you for helping me, because it's a 6 month.
You always get a 6 month, right?
You only get it. I mean, sometimes if you're a broker and you work with a seller, you usually get like a 6 month exclusive, so nobody else could work with. And once our 6 months, our 6 months was up, and we had an interview this morning, and he said, we got to part ways. So we lost that listing.
That's a lot to deal with.
You don't want to lose listings in this.
Nah.
You don't want to lose listings. But yeah, we lost a listing, and and I'm on air letting everybody know. Listen, you're gonna win some, you're gonna lose some. But am I pounding about it? No, you even know.
No, I didn't. Yo, you have no clue. This guy masked that whole thing right there. That was crazy. But I'm just glad you were able to do that, man. Yeah. You're able to hold it down, like instead of being like, yo, I'm bummed. I can't do this right now. Yo, I'm done.
It's a part of life, man.
Yeah, a lot of people are not. Some people are not have that ability to separate that kind of a situation. They lose a listing. They would probably the whole day is blown.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if we do the math, we I lost about $50,000-$60,000. That was about $55,000-$60,000 commission.
I feel like my stomach just got punched in the stomach right now.
But I'm blessed because I had other listings.
Yes,
I had other deals coming.
That's because you're consistently working.
Exactly,
and that's the point. I think that brings home the whole thing. You're consistent, and that's the whole. That's the gist of everything. That you stayed consistent, because you would have lost. Most people would have lost their brains, but you're just like, nah, I got this. I'm okay with it.
Something else is gonna happen. You gotta keep trucking. You gotta, before you came, I was at a sales meeting.
Yeah, you were. I definitely was. I was sitting in the joint, man.
Yeah, we had a sales meeting. So yeah, but that's how the game works. I mean, right now, to finish answering your question, the market is taking a little downturn because there's too much inventory. So a lot of stuff is staying on the market for a very long time right now. For a long time.
How do you feel? What do you think is the best place to buy right now in Manhattan?
To buy in Manhattan,
or period in New York, period. I should say. I'm not going to limit it down to Manhattan because this place is all over the world, all over the 5 boroughs.
I would say, as an investment or just to live, because it depends on, do you want to live there, or are you looking at something that's going to benefit you long term?
If I was somewhere in the middle, like I want to get a place for me and my family, but if I want to, it's a nice investment area too as well. Like kind of like I want to get a nice place where the neighborhood is picking up and it's something to look for. I can get a good, decent deal, but the neighborhood is growing.
I would say Hamilton Heights.
Hamilton Heights?
160th Street.
Okay.
Over there is actually developing. There's a lot of, they just actually built a brand new train station up there that takes, what is it? I think the B train or the D train goes up there.
Okay.
Yeah. Over there, over there is really nice. I would say there is on the west side.
All right.
That's in Manhattan. Or if you're looking in Brooklyn, I would say Red Hook. It's right by Gowanus.
Okay.
It's a little south of Brooklyn.
Nice, man. Nice. So, is there anything you would like to say to the people or young people, or that you would like to tell them before we get on up out of here?
Yeah, I would say this, guys. Don't settle for a 9 to 5. The way the industry now is with social media and us being millennials. Are we considered millennials?
How old are you right now?
I'm 32.
32. You're on the cusp.
Right?
You're on the
I'm right
cusp.
there.
Right there.
Right. So with the millennials out there, man, I would say you guys have so much stuff in front of you as far as